Hi friends, I'm Cindy. For my paper, I wanted to do and explore a topic that has relevance for folks in my age group, in my population. Um, so I wanted to explore the problem of internet fraud victimization. The Federal Bureau of Investigation Elder Fraud Report for 2022 shows that for the group of people over 60 years of age, they lost $3.1 billion to fraud, internet fraud victimization in 2022. So my research question is, what factors might contribute to internet fraud victimization in a uniquely vulnerable aging population? My reasoning is this. I have two reasons for imagining and perhaps having the opinion that that there are two factors that make people my age and older uniquely vulnerable to this fraud. The first reason is a sociological reason. Social media use became widespread in the United States at around the year 2004. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my friends and I were all in our 50s. We were over 50. Now we're over 70. So in 2004, we had already lived over 50 years. We had lived 60% at least of the average life expectancy. You can't make up for the loss of experience in technology and social media and internet use that we just didn't get for over half of our life. That's just a reality. It makes us, I think, uniquely vulnerable. So that's one reason, and that's a sociological perspective because it's our subculture. It's part of who we are, who we identify as. The second reason is that it's from the psychological and physiological standpoint. Studies do support that there's a decrease in brain's neuron function, transmission of electronic and chemical signals in the brain's neurons, and in their interconnectivity and intercommunication with other brain circuits that we have. They're supposed to work together and send signals smoothly and quickly among all of the neurons within one circuit, and then also at the same time communicate with neurons in the other circuit. All of that process begins to slow down. It just does across the board. There are studies that indicate that normally starts to begin anyway in our 70s. For many people, it's before that. But by the age of 80 and beyond, there's a real nosedive. It's just a drop off the cliff, and there's empirical evidence to show that beginning in the 80s there is significant loss of cognitive function. So again, those two factors, in my opinion, make us uniquely vulnerable to internet fraud victimization. It's very complex. Many facets obviously are involved in this problem. It is across the world, and I think that it's worth looking at from the standpoint of the two disciplines of sociology and psychology. So I've got some research, and I've got a lot more to do between now and next week when we turn in our sources. I guess my challenge is, one thing I've noticed is many of the studies written on this subject are written on studies based that were done in Europe and United Kingdom and Australia and China and Japan and Turkey. At first I was thinking, no, I need to concentrate on this issue for Americans, but that's kind of ridiculous, I think, if I'm looking at this from a sociological perspective. I think I should look at those studies. I think that is part of what's sociological about it. So I'm assuming Dr. Norman will let me know if that's correct or not. Anyway, I've been enjoying reading the rest of your proposals. I'll comment on at least one of them as soon as I can. I'd like to hear more from you, and good luck to you all. Thanks for listening.